Hello snowboarders of the internet. I'm your host Kevin Hub, here to give you another binding review, and today we're going to be talking about the Burton Malavita EST. So I rode these bindings on the Burton Kilroy Custom, my personal Burton Kilroy Custom. So definitely a board I'm very familiar with, and the Malavitas match up really well to it. It's got a softer nose, stiffer tail, regular ass, directional flex, and the Malavita matched up nice to that. And I rode them in a ton of different conditions. I was able to actually ride this new strap, the new toe strap. That's really the only thing that changed on these. I was able to actually hang on to that for a while, so I rode these in just about any condition you can really think of, from deep snow, trees, hard groomers, crud, chop, everything. The EST version of the Malavita doesn't have as much adjustability as the Reflex version. Basically, you just lose that ability to move the strap around on the frame. So you still have your strap adjustments that are toolless. You flip the little tabs up, spin the bolts out, adjust it, put the bolts back in, and tighten them back down. You do also still have your forward lead adjustment. It's that spin dial on the back of the high back, and it does have those notations on there, F1, F2, F3, so you know exactly where you're sitting with your forward lean. Overall, that's pretty much it for adjustability. The ankle straps on the Malavitas are of the new standard injected plastic, no foam, no fabric style. They work really well, they support your boot really well, they conform across your ankle extremely well, and they're just always exactly what you need them to be. And they're super comfortable and disappear on your boot. Definitely some of the best ankle straps out there, and I am a huge fan of these new style injected straps. I just think they're better than your standard fabric straps. The toe straps on these are so much better than the old ones. I never actually had an issue with the old ones, but they did tend to drift a little bit. Having ridden them for an entire season, I did have some issues with that. And overall, the shape just didn't make sense on the old ones. They were a box. And while we do call it a toe boxes are not actually boxes. So that shape just didn't make sense. This one is so much better. It is a lot more simple. It's basically just a split toe strap with a big open window in the center and rubber coated. So they grip your toe, they move across and just conform across any toe box you can really throw them onto, and they stay put and they actually fit. Burton is employing their double take spiral ratchets on the Malavitas. They climb really well. I actually really like that out of these, because instead of just engaging one ladder rung at a time, you're hitting 3 of them. So you're less likely to strip out your ladders if you are a gorilla and you like to just reef onto your freaking ratchets, and it's not as much of an issue. They lock on the underside as well, so the actual locking side of the ladder is basically protected, so you're a lot less likely to have your ratchets blow off and your straps just loosen on their own, which is also super nice. The only really issue I've really had with this style ratchet is it does move the distance from your ladder to your strap. It kind of increases that a little bit. And with your toe strap specifically, depending on the way everything fits, that can actually cause a little bit of pressure. So if you have a really soft toe box on your boots and you're using these guys, you may end up seeing a little bit of pressure right on the outside just underneath that ratchet. The only other thing I've heard of is freezing, that you can get some ice buildup underneath the locking side of those ratchets. I rode these ratchets for an entire season and never once had that issue. So the only assumption I can make is, yeah, if you take one run, you get it covered in snow, you throw it into a snowbank and go drink for an hour, yeah, they might freeze on you. I really like the high backs on the Malavitas. Ever since day one, when they introduced this binding, they introduced it with their hammock high back. So the lower portion of the high back has this grippy, pliable, spongy rubber on the back of it. It does a really good job to grip the back of your boot and just locks everything in really, really comfortably. So that, with your hammock style ankle strap, it's 360 degrees, wraps your boot in suspension. So these bindings ride really smooth, and when you're on your heel side, all that chatter and all that crud is getting soaked up into that hammock instead of going into your boot. Overall, the high back's not super tall, and it is a little bit flatter because it doesn't have a ton of torsional give to it. It's definitely a little bit of a stiffer high back, but it's supportive. It's never in your way, but it's always where you need it to be, and that hammock back there is awesome. Overall, putting everything together on the EST version, it's going to sit right around middle of the road for the Malavita in terms of flex. You do have that stiffer high back, but it is a little bit shorter, and the straps are a little bit more flexible than, say, on the Cartel version. The EST version also has the hinge, so you do have a little bit of lateral give to it that allows you to get a little bit more of that energy and snap out towards your tips It has a little bit more of a skate style initiation, so a little bit snappier to get out into that ollies, and a little bit more flexibility so you can move your weight over toward the tips for butters. Overall, it's a really nice feel, and I do actually like the hinge. I kind of didn't at first, but the more I ride it, the more I kind of appreciate kind of what it does. And this is the EST version, so you're not standing on anything underneath your foot that isn't foam. So you get tons of really good board feel, and when you're putting these on channel boards, you get the truest, most even consistent board flex you're gonna get out of any system out there. I actually owned and rode for an entire season the previous year version of these with a toe strap that I really hated. So adding the toe strap that actually works really well and is actually a good toe strap to this binding, the Burton Malavita EST binding is definitely what I'm always gonna be grabbing when I'm riding anything with a channel, so whether that be Burton or any of the other brands that are using channel. This is my go-to binding from Burton. It's really good, it's really solid, it's always exactly what I need it to be, and it's super comfortable to be in. It's a binding I can ride in for 8 hours a day, if I ever actually rode 8 hours an entire day. But if I ever wanted to, this binding would be the one that I would pick. It's just comfy. Thanks for watching. This has been my review of the Burton Malavita. What do you think? Have you been riding Malavitas? Did you like the old toe strap? You shouldn't, because it was terrible. The new one is so much better. If you're new here, click the subscribe button. While you're clicking that, click the bell. Make sure you're getting notifications when we've got reviews and other video projects coming out. Check out Angry Snowboarder VIP if you want to support us. It's the best way to support us. There's a little bit of a paywall, but I know that there's stickers behind it. Come back and check the next video.
Are you ready for the outro?
No.
Come on, Kevin.
All right.
Don't fuck it up.
Let's do this.